All right, welcome back to another episode of the Canucks Chatter podcast. So we had a few week break. Of course, the Four Nations tournament happened. Um, so yeah, as we all know, unless you're living under a rock, Canada wins the tournament against the U.S. Um, so before we talk about the Vancouver Canucks, and before we talk about the final game of would you call it a gold medal game? I don't even know. Or just the finals, I guess?
Tournament winning game?
Yeah, sure, a tournament winning game. Before we dive into that, what are your overall thoughts on the tournament? Was it what you expected, not what you expected?
I
How do you feel about it?
thought it was so much fun. Like
Mm,
everyone took it seriously.
yeah,
As long as the players took it seriously, it was going to be awesome. It wasn't an all-star game. All four countries showed up and took it serious. They were playing for the jersey on the front of the name on the crest on the front of the jersey. They weren't playing for Colorado, Vancouver, Dallas. And when it came to country pride, it all came down to it, and it was heated. It, Sweden, Finland was heated. Canada, U.S. was very heated as expected. And it was four countries who had big rivalries, and it came down to a tense final.
yeah,
It's if this might be the only time we're ever going to see a Four Nations, I'm okay with it. This came down to a big tournament, and gotta say, Crosby Four Nation Championships 1, Ovechkin 0.
yeah. Uh, I'll give you my thoughts, which are not dissimilar to yours. Before the tournament began, I think most people maybe share my feelings. I wasn't like super hyped about it just because I didn't know what it was going to be.
I think
I
it
didn't
was
know.
very 50-50.
Yeah, right. Like it was like I was like, is this gonna be? Are they gonna go all out? Like you said, like if they go all out, it's gonna be good. But I don't know because are they gonna be afraid of injuries? Because it's the latter half of the regular season's coming. And then that first game, it was Canada Sweden. I was like, okay, they're playing hard. That was wasn't even the best game of the tournament, but like to start that, I was like, okay, here we go. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. This is great. And then I think things just went up a giant notch when it's Canada US. Like that first game, those three fights, I was like, all right, let's go. This is one of the best hockey games I've ever watched. And it was
Seeing JT Miller punch himself in the face.
yeah, I saw that meme come up. At least he punched someone, all right? At least he got someone. I mean, that's a tough guy to fight, Perico. Like he's
Yeah.
massive. Um, but that was super entertaining. I'm like, this you can't top a starting to a hockey game than three fights, Canada US. And then even even the other teams when Canada's not playing were good. I mean, I know
Yeah.
US kind of pounded Finland, but Sweden Finland was a great game.
Yeah.
Canada Finland, like it was, yeah.
Finland and the States were very close for two periods.
Yeah.
And then the floodgates happened in the third.
Yeah. It was definitely like I think for me it was like Canada US like neck and neck, like how I thought before the tournament, and then it's Sweden afterwards and then Finland.
Yeah.
That's
it's
kind
played
of
out how we all expected it.
Yeah. I totally forgot. I just clicked into my mind right now. I should have saved a recording of our last episode and we talked about our predictions. Do you remember what I said? Who's in the finals? And I
Well, we
said
both said we were expecting Canada.
Yeah. Oh, shocker. I got that right.
No
But
one was going on a limb there.
No. But the score, I said 3-2 Canada. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, it's not like it's a stretch, There's a high chance that could happen, but
I put on my Canada Homer colors and just said blowout.
What did you say? I'm trying to. I wish because I remember what I said. But
I probably said Canada won 6-0 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something outrageous.
Could have gone either way. Like it was it was enjoyable. It was like, we'll get to. I know this is a Canucks podcast here. We'll get to the Canucks in a second, but like coming back to regular season, you're like, oh, okay.
That's already happened. I'm like watching these games, I'm like, this is just not the same.
I know I'm not as invested, like not yet. Like you need more time. But I mean that makes sense.
Nothing to hate. I'm like,
yeah. You're not amped up because like, there's so many different ways I want to go with this, but let's start off. Okay, well, we know Canada US in the finals. The US beat Canada 2-1 in the, what would you call it? Round robin?
3-1.
Was it 3-1?
They got an empty netter, didn't they? I don't
I
remember.
can't even remember.
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, they won anyway.
The only thing like anyone remembers is the 3 fights in the US won the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But both games were super close. It was like it was kind of like a cancellation, like nobody wanted to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Like the checking was so close that there wasn't much. It wasn't like a back and forth affair, which makes sense. You have the best defensemen, best forwards of each country.
Best defenseman wasn't there.
Yeah, the US. I mean, it wasn't Canada was. I mean, maybe not the same. Canada was missing a couple big.
Yeah. Shea Theodore was it there?
Theodore. There was one other too. Boy, my mind's already forgot who.
Josh Morrissey didn't play in the final, but he did play in the first one.
Yeah, he did.
And those are 2 big losses, especially for the final. Because I feel those were their second and third best defensemen. They were missing right there.
For sure. And then Makar missed a game, right? He missed not the final.
Makar missed the first. He missed the first.
Finland, the first game. Okay.
Yeah, and then.
Oh right.
Yeah, the first one they were missing Makar and Theodore. The second one they were missing Morrissey and Theodore.
Yeah, which is a big blow. And then obviously US doesn't have Hughes. That's another big blow. And then Tkachuk didn't play most of the game. Matthew. Yeah. Matthew Tkachuk. So it's boy, that was a fun one. That was a fun one to watch. I went to like before the game. I went to I was picking up food and just like they're asking like, oh, you watching the game today? They're like, oh, we don't even watch hockey, but we're gonna watch today. And like, there's so many people that were like not even big hockey fans that would tune in for that game. Like it was like built up. It was exciting.
Olympics all over again.
Yeah, and I think. Look, we're not going to get into politics and all that, but the political situation that's going on played another factor in that. Yeah, exactly. And that just added to it.
Especially after all the stuff Bill Guerin said, he just became enemy number 1 in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a little bit of
people hated him more than the Tkachuks, and that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, that's weird.
At least you can respect the Tkachuks. After all the stuff Guerin was saying, they're like, oh god, just shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like even Trump calling the team beforehand, like it's I think it just added to the fuel, right? We know how Canadians feel about what Trump's proposing, so it's like
even Chantal Kirby-Isaac when she sang in the final, put her own spin on it. She didn't do a great job with it, but I respected her standing up for Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Nice to see. How nervous were you during the overtime?
Anytime they shot the puck at Bennington, I was worried.
I will say though, that's what I want to talk about. Bennington stood on his head there.
Yep, he deserved. I hate giving him credit because he's Jordan Bennington, but he saved them in the third period and that overtime. I was still nervous every time they shot at him because he's still Jordan Bennington. You never know what you're gonna get, but he deserved his credit for that one.
Yeah, I agree. Because like you look at his, I think, I guess you just look at his numbers in big game situations. He's pretty good. And I was thinking to myself, like, if that's, who knows how everything else goes, but if that's Aiden Hill or Logan Thompson in overtime with those chances, are they making those saves? Like, I don't know.
Logan Thompson this year? Yes. Aiden Hill?
Could be.
50-50.
Yeah.
But they didn't need to make the save because he made the saves, which luckily for Canada, because he was definitely the weak link. Okay.
Yeah, like that was the worry of it because you're like, oh, is he going to give up a bad goal or something? But credit to him, he played great.
I thought McDavid was invisible for pretty much the entire game, and
then he scores.
I don't know what the Americans were thinking.
I watched that play back. Yeah,
it was Matthews who blew the coverage, but
it was. I don't know why. Because I watched it back a couple times because I was like, why did Matthews go there, and why was he so open? And it was off the face-off. It was his check. What ends up happening is the defenseman, I forget who it was.
I don't know. It was 28 or something, 26 or something like that. He
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
He
who
had.
it was. He
I
was
don't
because
remember
Marner
who.
was in the corner because they
Yeah,
kind of switched spots, and
the
defenseman
defenseman
was supposed
covered
to
him.
go to Marner.
Yeah, which he did.
Matthews, no, he
Also
wasn't
went
there.
there.
He did, but he was not nowhere near Marner. And then
He was on
Matthews,
soft coverage. Yeah.
very soft coverage, and Matthews sees him, and he's like, "Uh-oh, Marner's gonna make a play here." So Matthews goes to him, and the defenseman goes to him. It's like
Yeah.
they're both their faults, really, because
I
Matthews
thought
just
it. I think
he's
it
got
was
to look at
Marner.
him and be like,
I,
"What were you gonna say?"
I feel it was all Matthews. The defenseman was still there. The coverage wasn't great, but
He was
great on
behind
him.
the
But
net, and Marner
he
was in
was
the corner.
yeah, because he was
So
coming out from behind the net. He wasn't there yet, but he was going toward him. He was recovering because there was a little pick play, and whereas Matthews just completely left McDavid
yeah,
alone in the slot. He
for
didn't
sure.
need to be there. He was trying to be hero. He acted. He went too quickly to tried to be a hero play and like, oh shit, he's not there. But when the defenseman was there,
The defenseman wasn't
he,
there. The
he was
defenseman wasn't
recovering.
there. The defenseman
I think
wasn't gonna stop Marner. But the thing is, with Matthews,
no,
it's like if you're you're supposed to stay on your centerman. What's more dangerous, the guy in the slot or the guy in the corner?
yeah,
Obviously, the guy in the slot. So you have to trust and hope that your
yeah,
defenseman finds a way to stop Marner before he makes a play. But
yeah.
he goes there
I
and
think the
yeah.
defenseman he wasn't there in front of him, but he was on his way. His feet was moving,
But he was
whereas
still a ways
if
away,
that,
right?
I
It's
think he was closer than you think it is. He was. I think he was
I
not
watched it
that
back a
far.
couple. He's
Me
behind the
too.
net. He's behind the net.
He was in
Like
the corner. He was in the corner. He was coming out from behind the net.
he was coming, but like Marner
He
had enough
wasn't
time to make a
behind
play.
the net. He was on the right side of him though. He was coming there. He wasn't like on straight behind the net. He was already on the side where Marner was. He was going to get he was going to get there. Or he essentially had stopped Marner from going out, but he didn't stop. He wasn't there in time to stop the pass from going.
Mm-hmm.
Marner couldn't move because he was moving, but Marner had enough time because he wasn't there yet. Whereas Matthews just blew coverage in the middle.
Yeah. No,
And
that was not. I'm not arguing
yeah,
that was a bad
yeah,
play. That was a
yeah,
good play at all because
yeah,
you can't leave the best player in the world in the
yeah,
slot open.
yeah.
But I can see Matthews with more of the blame, but also the defenseman was not
I
near
think he
as
was
checked.
picked in the play. That's what there was. He used the net. He took a bad route to get to Marner. There was no doubt on that.
I think he just lost Marner because they rim it around the boards, and Marner.
I think he was in front of the net, and then it's like, oh, they did lose Marner, but they was still Matthews 90% of it. Where
Yeah, I mean,
it
I
was
wouldn't say that, but I would say I'd definitely
he
put it
didn't
on
need
him.
he didn't need to be there.
No, he didn't need to. Yeah, bad decision.
Yeah,
You did trust your
because
defenseman to come back and
defenseman
get.
he was going to be there because at least he had stopped Marner from being able to go anywhere because Jack Hughes was up high. He had him out high, and then if Marner couldn't down low, he didn't need to be. He was if Marner couldn't go behind the net or come out front because the defenseman would have stepped out because of him being out of position. Whereas
Right.
Matthews he didn't need he overreacted and he left the wrong guy open.
Right.
It was three guys puck watching on the wrong spot.
I'm just quickly rewatching here. Marner had a lot of time.
He did.
Because he had a lot of time. Because the defenseman, he went. How do I explain this with hands? This doesn't work. But like he basically he went around the net, but he took the long way around the net.
Yeah.
So Marner got that puck. The defenseman's nowhere near him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of time.
I think
Marner
that was
had a lot
Fox.
of time because of the defenseman didn't make the right route, but he wasn't going in. He wasn't going to be able to.
They both went after.
Anywhere.
So 15. I think it's Hannafin and 23 both went after the same guy in front of the net. That's what happened.
Yeah.
They both went after him. Puck rims around. Hannafin stayed on him. I'm trying to see who 23 is. Is that Fox? Fox realizes, oh, that's not my guy. He starts to go towards Marner. Yeah. Matthews also goes towards him instead of staying on his assignment, which is the centerman, McDavid. And that happens. It's like a blown coverage. I mean, something like that was going to happen over time. Yeah. Good thing it happened to the U.S. and not Canada.
Yep.
But
whoever it was, I think it was Fox as well. He wasn't
great in the tournament.
No,
He
he
wasn't
was
great in the
not
tournament.
Adam Fox.
No, there's a lot of players where you're like even you were talking about earlier, McDavid wasn't great. Like it almost seemed like he was nervous. He bobbled pucks in the first period that I'm like,
Yeah.
this never happens.
The only thing that looked normal was he had the puck and was skating fast. He
Yeah,
didn't
but he was like,
really.
yeah,
He scored a couple goals, but he wasn't the most dangerous guy on the ice the
no,
whole time. Whereas I was saying to my Edmonton friends, like, I'm cheering for McDavid here, but where's the McDavid that just torches the Canucks every single time he
yeah.
touches the puck? I didn't see that McDavid all tournament.
That's all tournament. I mean, he had some big goals. He scored the only goal against Canada U.S. Didn't he score?
Yeah,
He had 3
but
goals in the tournament. 3 goals in
yeah,
4 games. Yeah,
but
I'd
we're
say it's
used to
pretty good.
McDavid touching every time he touches the puck.
Yeah, but
Something
he's also
dangerous
facing
happens.
the best players on one
Yeah,
team, So
this
it's
like
not
this
against the.
McDavid he was clutch. I'll give him he was clutch in scoring goals, but he didn't dominate like he normally does. Like McKinnon was all over the place the entire.
Yeah. Well, McKinnon had some quiet moments in the
Yeah.
first. I think it was the first U.S. game. McKinnon was quiet. There's not much going on.
Every other game, McKinnon
Yeah.
he deserved to be MVP.
Yeah. It's just it's hard. There's moments where there's just so many good players out there, right? Like
Yeah, McKinnon showed he was the best player in this tournament. Him or Jake Slavin.
yeah, Slavin was really good. Like defenseman, he just broke up everything. Like that guy's a nightmare to play against.
Yeah,
so good. His stock, like I think everyone in Carolina already knew. If you follow the Carolina, know how good he is. But I think just the rest of the world got to see how good he is.
That's why I'm disappointed Quinn didn't get to play, but also glad Quinn didn't get to play in that.
Yeah, you don't want to. There's some injuries that definitely happen.
Yeah, I'm just like because I think U.S. wins if Quinn Hughes is there.
Yeah, tough to say. But if you add in Canada's Theodore and
but they're not Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, but you never know. Like
missing Quinn Hughes is much bigger than missing Shea Theodore. I'm a big Shea Theodore guy.
But Shea Theodore and who else did they miss in the final?
Morrissey.
Josh Morrissey.
I'm a big fan of both those guys, but Quinn Hughes is on another level of them.
Yeah, but it's best on best, so it's going to be hard.
The two of them don't equal one Quinn Hughes. And those are two upper echelon defensemen.
I think even if you put Quinn Hughes and those two defensemen in, I think it's still a toss-up. It's
still America, the favorite.
From my opinion, I don't think so. I think it's still there's two. Canada's got too many of the level. But Canada's got some of the best, like McKinnon, McDavid. There's nobody on that level too. So
Matthews.
Yeah, I guess, but Matthews is injured, right? Like I will say that. I mean, he blew the coverage in that game, but he had a lot of chances. He played a good game. He had a post. He had overtime. And Brady Tkachuk played really well.
Yeah,
Brady played strong. Gensel was good all tournament. He was feisty too.
I think they made a mistake in not playing Kyle Connor.
Yeah, didn't play him too much.
He didn't play the last game.
He
should have been in.
And he's one of the leading scorers.
Yeah, I'm glad he sat because they didn't win.
Yeah, another guy that I wasn't too impressed with was Jack Hughes.
Yeah, Jack did not play well.
He was getting I was never so apparent from his size than that tournament because there was people that just hit him to the floor, to the ice. Yeah.
No, he missed his big brother.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, great tournament.
Like Braden Point up this stock, he was really good.
Yeah, he was good.
18-year-old Sam Bennett was really good. That he was impressive as a fourth liner.
Yeah, and he got that last the final game against you. I thought Marner had a really good final game too.
He was up and down. Like there were times he wasn't good, but then other times he was really noticeable.
Yeah, yeah.
He was dropped to the fourth line and then earned his way back up, and good. I've always been a big Marner guy. I think he drives play a lot. He even in Toronto, I think he opens up the space for
sure.
Matthews to do what Matthews does.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's I think why they started with McDavid, and I think after watching that first game, their idea was like, okay, these are both guys, like you said, that him and McDavid like to carry the. Listen, I'm not comparing Marner to McDavid, we know that, but the type of
I
player
didn't
that
think
likes
that.
to, yeah. I'm just, if anyone's listening, like you're comparing someone to McDavid. I'm not comparing, but I mean they're both puck carriers and looking for that open guy, and on the same line, it just the chemistry wasn't there. I think,
And
but it came
it
back.
didn't look like Marner could keep up with McDavid's pace.
Yeah, I think. Well, who else was on
Whereas
that line? It was Stone, right?
Point did. Stone can't keep up with anyone's pace. He's
Yeah.
never been known to fleet of foot.
But in that last, in that game that Marner got the OT goal, like he didn't even play that great until the OT goal. I thought.
I thought he played well that game because he got pushed up to
that game. I thought. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I didn't.
He
the
started
final game
on the fourth line. Yeah, the fourth.
He started the tournament on McDavid's wing.
Yeah, got dropped to the fourth line and then earned his way back up there.
Yeah, because then he was put with Cirelli and Hagel.
Which I thought there was too many guys of that muck up, like Cirelli, Bennett, Hagel. I don't know if we needed, and Marchand. I know Marchand was already on the team, but I didn't think we needed all three of them on the same team. Wanted a little bit more skill. Maybe Scheifele could be there.
I thought Scheifele's a guy who could have definitely been
there. I don't know if Bedard would have been able to keep up defensively, but
I don't think Bedard not being there was a good thing. I don't think he.
Yeah.
He's not ready for that.
The future Vancouver Canuck would have been great on the team, but I don't think he defensively would have been able to keep up for sure. Right?
Yeah.
His skill, but I would not have minded more skill on the team and a little less sandpaper.
I think that's also John Cooper wanting his guys on there.
Yeah.
He's the head coach. Yeah. He's got Cirelli. Point deserves to be there.
Point earned his spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Hagel.
Like when they were struggling to score, they didn't have anyone to bump up to play but the big boys.
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel like. A lot of teams you can, when teams are struggling, you can put up, if you have a lot of the big boys, you can just move them up and down, because they always say it's easier to get a scorer to check than it is to get a checker to score.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. There's some stuff that people just have an innate ability in that you can't teach, right? No amount of skill sessions will teach those things.
Like Mark Scheifele might not be the greatest checker, but he's plausible and
you can put him in the net.
Yeah, he's going to create.
Yeah.
I still think the Americans are going to be the favorite heading into next year's Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I feel if you only have like McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, McCarr, you can't be the underdog. I think it's just so close. I know you have Slavin, but like
Slavin, Hughes, Fox. Despite what you saw from Fox, this one, McAvoy.
McAvoy didn't even play. McAvoy didn't even play the final game too.
And then you have the Kachucks and Matthews and Gunsel. Like the Americans are really stacked.
Yeah, they're both stacked. Like I don't know. I can talk myself into either team being the better team, but it's just hard. I think it's so. I don't know. It depends on how they play.
Goaltending is still all Americans.
Yeah, and they have. Yeah, that's
I still don't trust Binnington, and I think most of us are still saying, yeah, he played great in that last game, but
yeah, you don't have all the. I mean, you don't feel as comfortable as having Hellebuck in the net. You're like super comfortable.
Yeah. It's not the days of having Price and Luongo and Brodeur. Like, no, they got this on shut down.
No, yeah, they don't have that. But Binnington, we got to give him his flowers. He played really well in that overtime in third, because U.S. just started to pour it on.
Yeah, some of those saves, I don't know how he'd make the first save and then all of a sudden he's out of position and his back would be turned. It was like, oh God, it was so scary watching him play.
There was that. I think it was Matthews. Yeah, Matthews in the slot tried to go 5-hole, and Binnington came way out of the net to cut down the angle, and then the puck went in the corner, and there's Brady Tkachuk on the side of the net, and that was a good save. And then off the faceoff again, Matthews was trying to go top corner, makes a glove save. I guess he came up when you needed him.
Yeah, we all gave him credit for that one after yelling at him for every other game and every other period.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
now
mean,
now we can go back to hating Bennington again. We like him for 2 periods.
yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, I think that's the other thing too is like, the tournament's so short that, you know, if a goalie can have one good strong game, that could be the difference, right? I think
2
if
periods.
that's a 7 game series, it might be a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, great tournament.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
One year away, and then more best on best, and then you bring in the Czechs and the Swiss, the Slovaks.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I think some of those guys you'd love to see play.
Yeah, no Russia probably for the Olympics either.
Oh yeah. You know, I just remembered this now. I was taking a class, so I didn't leave the class till 10 o'clock on, what was it, Thursday, right? So I didn't watch the final game live. And so what I did is I just shut off all the notifications on my phone and all the group chats I was in. I just turned off all notifications, and I somehow kept myself out of the loop. Didn't go online at all, and watched it at nighttime. And
my friends and I, we watched it separately, but together as we were on our group chats, just talking about making fun of Bennington the whole time.
Yeah. I think everybody during the tournament kind of was picking at him.
We were asking where McDavid was.
I still think he had a great tournament. I think with that many good players, it's so hard to. I mean, like, look, we're seeing him dominate against Vancouver, but you can't compare the Vancouver Canucks to the Team USA. There's no way. Like, no NHL team you can compare to that.
He's Connor McDavid. He has.
And I thought he had his moments.
Everyone. It was like when Gretzky and Lemieux played on Team Canada. They still dominated.
But I think the U.S. is better than they were back then.
Yes.
The U.S. is a better team than they were back then. They've caught up.
I don't know if you've ever seen 87 Canada Cup, but Gretzky and Lemieux were dominant in that, and those Russian teams were good.
Yeah.
And Fetisov was probably the best defenseman in the world. He was the best defenseman in the world at that time, and he was having trouble stopping Gretzky and Lemieux.
Yeah, I mean, those are two of the best players of all time, so I'm not surprised.
They are the two best players in my.
Yeah, probably. I'd put McDavid there now. McDavid, Crosby, I'd put those guys there.
Lemieux is the best to ever play the game.
Yeah, it's always so hard to like compare to today's game. You know what I mean? It's like
they would still be great, but definitely
they wouldn't be as dominant.
Gretzky would have a lot less goals for sure.
For sure.
Because
it also would be like
a slap shot along the ice doesn't beat a goalie nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Gretzky had 400 of his goals that way.
Yeah.
Or a little wrist shot.
Which makes you appreciate like just how crazy good the players are nowadays. It's insane. Yeah. They have no room to shoot at, and they find ways to score. Yeah. To the point where now their shots are not even just regular shots. They're deception. They practice deception in their shots for it to look like it's coming off and going one way and it goes the other.
Yeah. And like that nowadays is a lot of those 80s goals. If you look, they're just shots along the ice and they just go right in. Yeah. They're not even hard or fast. They just like now a goalie lets in that goal. It's a soft goal and they're getting
yanked. Yeah, they're getting yanked after that.
You can't let goals in like that nowadays.
No, you can't.
And that's
different game.
When Ovechkin breaks the record, I'm gonna be so happy. You've seen that because he's beaten a lot of goalies.
Oh yeah, he's got his curve is crazy.
I don't know how he scores so many goals on the power play when you know what's coming.
You know, I've actually used his curve before for a couple games. It's crazy. It's just like a golf I don't know the
club.
Golf club, but there's a specific one. I mean, they're all guessed on an angle, but you just hit it and it's going up. So he's really perfected that thing to aim at where he wants because it's. And I listened to goalies getting interviewed talked about trying to read his shot and they can't read it because they say it like flutters. It's not like a UFO style shot where it's just saucing. It flutters, and they can't read the shot. And I mean, it's just been working. No one can stop it.
Crosby's still better, but Ovechkin will be in the record books more than Crosby will be.
I think Ovechkin's the better goal scorer. Crosby's the better all-around player.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've all seen Ovechkin back check.
Yeah.
Back check.
Yeah. He has done a better job of that this year. I'll give that to him. When he wants to, but he's not the guy that's going to continue. Like Crosby, it's like he's, you're always going to rely on him no matter what.
200-foot game.
Yeah. What a tournament. That was fun. I wonder what the thoughts would be like if Canada didn't win that last game. Would it be like,
it would be Jordan Binnington getting roasted.
That's true. Man, good thing that he turned it up for his own sake.
He won. He helped. He was a big part of the game, and we're still roasting him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think you are. I was against him.
Social media is still roasting him.
Oh yeah, social media.
Everyone, hey, we all gave him his flowers, which he deserved, but we're still roasting him because he's Jordan Binnington. Well, he deserves his flowers, but
yeah, he's got a cup. He's got a cup ring. He's also got a 8-something save percentage this year, but
he's one of those goalies where you're like, yeah, you have the accolades, but we are still going to roast you because you're not one of the elite guys.
Yeah, he can play elite games and elite stretches, but the elite guys can play elite all the time. Where he's like, I don't know if he's going to let in a bad one here.
Yeah. If Luongo had scored more goals in 2011, he'd have himself a ring too.
Yeah,
but he couldn't score any goals.
Yeah. He did. Well, I'm thinking about what was it? We're going way back here. Game 6. I didn't think he played the greatest.
3, 4, and 6. Yeah, he didn't play well, but he played well in games 1, 2, 5, and 7.
Yeah, but you can't play well in just some of the games. But that's not all on him. It's just gonna open up old wounds here on the pod. Anyways,
that wound's never gonna close until they win a cup.
Yeah, as it should be like that. Let's close it up. Or close up the Canada. Or not the Canada, Four Nations tournament. I'm saying Canada because they won. Great tournament. We both agree. A lot of entertainment. Now back to regular hockey.
Yay, regular season hockey.
Now back to game 50, whatever it is of the season.
Yay, the dog days of winter.
But it is like, this is a, doesn't feel like it, but it's a huge stretch for Vancouver. How many games do they have left? 25 games left in the season.
Yeah. 5 games before the trade deadline.
Yeah. Like, do you buy? I don't know.
I'm not buying.
Yeah. I don't think I would. Yeah. Maybe like a small piece if you're going to give like a throwaway pick or something. Like a depth defenseman. Or a forward.
I think it's forward. I think their defense is good enough now.
Yeah. If you want Hughes comes back, then.
Yeah, it's a lack of scoring. They could use another center now because they traded one.
Yeah, but they're not going to get that in a trade right now, I don't think.
Yeah, I'd stand pat. If anything, maybe a 4-board trade. So another team can sell Bort license plates, or a Noel Juleson going for a late rounder. Maybe even P. Suter, the all-time leading goal scorer for guys named Pius. He might be able to fetch something. I don't know if you can keep Besser or trade him. Do you
think they sign Besser? Would you sign Besser? Yeah, I don't know. Because he's not a play driver, right? He's a finisher, which they need. But if he wants a lot of money, then I don't know if you do that.
And the contract isn't going to age because of his skill set. His number one flaw has always been his lack of skating. And as he gets older, his skating's not going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, the cap's going up where you have a little bit more leeway of making mistakes, but you don't want to keep compounding more and more mistakes.
True. Yeah, it all depends on the number, really. That's going to be a huge factor. Like the term, he's going to try to get a long term. That's just how it's going to be. Yeah. It's his time to get his money.
He deserves to be paid, but he deserves the money he's going to get, as all players do. But sometimes I just don't want that contract on my team.
Yeah,
And
no, that's fair.
it's I'm okay with players for my team. I'm okay with them getting money and less term, or term with less money.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think about your own team, you turn into a GM. You're like, okay, I don't really care how much great money you get. I want you to get little as money as possible and not too long of a term.
No, I'll give them their money. Just I don't want to give them term. If they want term, I don't want to give them money.
Yeah,
give them one or the other. Unless your name's Quinn Hughes, then you can have both.
yeah. Look at the standings here. Like it's Vancouver has 1 point ahead on Calgary, but Calgary has a game in hand. It's a close one because like Calgary's trying to figure out too if they're gonna sell or what, right? Because they got
they're going on a murderous road trip coming up where they're going to Carolina, Florida, Dallas. They have a tough schedule coming home.
And the good thing for Vancouver is that's like the only team that's really chasing them.
Utah's only a few points back, and they got the easiest schedule of the three.
But they also Vancouver has a game in hand on them, and they're 4 points back.
Yeah. Utah's got the easiest schedule of the three. Calgary's got the hardest schedule of the three, and Vancouver's the best of the three teams.
Right.
Calgary's relying on a rookie goaltender who hasn't hit the wall yet. He's had a really good season. Dustin Wolf deserves all the credit. Calder Trophy candidate, but a rookie goalie is going to hit. All rookies hit the wall at one point or another. No one, unless your name's Ovechkin or Crosby, you're going to hit the wall.
Yeah. You know, if the Canucks were in the Eastern Conference, I don't think they'd make the playoffs. There'd be way too many teams fighting. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, probably at least 5 teams fighting for those last 2 spots.
Yeah, they'd be in the mix, but
they'd be in the mix, but I don't think they would. I don't think they'd make it.
They wouldn't be on the positive side like they are here in the West.
Yeah, exactly. But that's good.
Unless one of those weird teams goes on a St. Louis-like run from 2019.
I think it's too late for that, honestly, because that happened like January. It's like it's almost March now. Like there's 20-something games. Like even if you have a crazy record, to make up that much ground, it's too hard.
They'd have to pull an Edmonton 16-game winning streak, and I don't think any of those teams are capable of doing that.
No.
None of them have a guy named McDavid or Draisaitl to propel it to them.
Exactly. Yeah. There's on the Western Conference, none of these teams. Like you'd be like Nashville's got some scores, but boy, they're not even close.
They're so far behind.
They're 16 points behind. So even if they went on a 16-game win streak, Vancouver would have to go 500 for the next 16 games, which could happen, but I don't think Nashville's going to go on a 16-game win streak, so I think they're fine.
Especially not with this year's UC Saros.
Yeah. I didn't even think he looked that great for Finland.
No. He lost his job to Kevin.
Yeah. Lankinen played pretty well. I mean, if we talk about the Canucks game that just happened, or Lankinen didn't play, it was she lost, right? Yeah.
Oh, they played. Kevin kept them in the game against Vegas the night before, and then
he played great in that game.
Was very good against Utah last night. He kept the Canucks in it too. Goaltending, not an issue again.
No. The Vegas game was close. It's just that opening goal in the third, or the opening minute, or I think it was.
Yeah, opening
in the third
minute, and Connor Garland showing his brotherhood to JT Miller by back checking like JT Miller on that play.
Yeah, that was the one that went off the boards, right? And then right to
Yeah, he didn't move his feet. He glided as soon as he stopped moving his feet once he crossed the blue line, and very JT Miller defensive play, and his guy ended up scoring, which is very rare. Garland usually moves his feet, but solidarity to his brother JT Miller,
who had 2 goals the other day. So
and they lost.
They did lose, yeah, but that's I mean, we're not gonna. I don't want to do another Pettersson thing again. So let's just leave it.
Even though I'm running out of excuses for him, but I think he's still hurt. So, and this Canuck medical staff, they know more than me, but it's not the first time. It's not the second time that they've kind of messed around, been incorrect in diagnosing injuries.
Well, Quinn, like if it's a like, then why hasn't he missed games? You know what I mean? Like, because
That's
what
the thing. Yeah.
from his words, like he had he couldn't train properly in the summer because of
Yeah.
an injury, but now it's like, I don't know, like even
I don't
injured,
know.
like it's still even if he is kind of injured, like it's still not
When you
enough of
can't,
an excuse.
yeah,
You know?
when you can't move, he's not moving his feet, and that's not Pedersen that we've seen throughout his career. He's a guy who's always moving his feet. He's playing well
Yeah.
defensively, but it's just not moving it in the offensive zone. So I think that knee is still bothering him, and the Canuck medical staff, like Tanner Pearson was supposed to miss 2 weeks, ended up missing way more than that, and his career was in danger at one point.
Yeah.
And it's not the first. And
Who knows?
they,
But so I think some people
yeah.
thought in when the tournament happened that because he was like the number one center basically for Sweden, and he just got dropped down because they just played him less and less.
He started as number 2 center. Zibanejad was on the top line.
Right. Yeah, that was. I'd rather have Pedersen than Zibanejad.
Neither one are having a great season.
True.
Even if you look at it, I think he set the bar so high that even if you look at his stats, they're not terrible.
Who,
They're
Pedersen or Zibanejad?
Yeah, Pedersen. They're not his regular numbers, but they're not off. He's not putting up.
Well, he's on pace for like 50-something points. That's pretty awful for a guy making 11.6.
Exactly. That's why he set the bar so high that even 50, that it's like what.
But when you
like
get paid like that, that means you have to keep that up.
I'm not saying he should be scoring this amount. He should be scoring more, but just the bar has been set so high.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the McDavid bar set so high. High. 4 Nations. Everyone's saying this isn't the McDavid we see during the regular season and playoffs where he dominates all the way. This guy just looks whatever. So when the bar is set so high and these superstar players don't meet it, we are going to harp on them.
I don't think you can compare McDavid's performance to Pedersen's performance at all.
I'm not comparing their performance. I'm saying the bar is set so high.
Yeah, I still think McDavid had a good tournament. I think he.
But it wasn't. I'm not saying he didn't have a good tournament.
No, but I mean,
the bar is set so high. The bar is this high. He was this. Same with Pedersen. Pedersen's bar is this high. He's doing this. When the expectation is so high and you don't meet it, it's just not the same.
But I don't think he didn't. I don't think McDavid didn't meet his bar because you have to take into account the opponent, right? Like you're facing a Team USA, which has got all the best players.
McDavid's bar is set. It shouldn't change because of the opponent. He's McDavid. He's the best player in the world by far.
Yeah, for sure.
Without it, if he doesn't meet those same expectations that he does in the playoffs, he's playing great teams. He's still dominating every single.
Yeah, but there's no team in the NHL that's as good as Team USA.
No, but the expectations are there. He doesn't. It's the same with Pedersen. The expectations is you dominate. It doesn't matter the opponent. And Pedersen's not dominating anyone. McDavid looked good, but he wasn't McDavid. They're both super high bars that they didn't meet. But for McDavid, all for naught because he won the tournament.
Well, 3 goals, 4 games. I thought he did pretty good. But
he should be averaging double that.
No, that's not. That's not possible.
The guy almost got 200 points.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
But there's nights where he's facing teams like San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, those are his 4 and 5 point nights.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have that when you're facing
in a short tournament like that. He should be getting 2 points a night. The expectations are set. Like they both. All
right.
The bar is this high for Pedersen. He shouldn't be a 50.
We can agree to disagree, Victor. We can agree to disagree.
Expectations are high. I don't know. It's the Asian in me where expectations are high. Like we all have high expectations of Pedersen. He should be scoring more than a 50-point level. being good defensively, yeah, he is. But he's got to be scoring more. And maybe you should sit because this he's injured. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but then my thing is like, why isn't he taking games off? That's what I don't understand.
Exactly.
So that's why this. Maybe the injury just isn't that major. It must be a very minor one if he's not sitting. Like Quinn Hughes is sit. Like players sit when they're injured, even if it's like soreness. They keep him out for at least a couple games.
When peak PD and this PD, he's not moving his feet, so
for
that
sure
knee is bothering him.
But I think some of it's got mental.
Yeah, part
I
of
like
it
how
is too.
I said we're not going to do the Pettersson thing, and we're just getting right into
it. He's hurt. He's on that line of playing hurt and injured. He's probably closer to injured than hurt. Whereas Quinn's injured, he can't play. Hey,
but you'd think, but if Pettersson's been hurt for 57 games, you would think there'd be a stretch where he would. I'm not saying he's not hurt. That's not what I'm just trying to say. But I'm saying if it was pretty bad that it's affecting his play like a lot, then they should have sat him for a number of games, and they didn't. So I'm not sure whether that's mismanagement or it's not as bad. It
absolutely is. I don't trust this Vancouver Canucks medical team. They've time after time they've just not come up with the correct answers. And Petey's a tough guy. He's gonna play. Yeah, I can play, and that's what he's doing. He's like, I can handle this pain. When his game says opposite right now.
Yeah. Well, only he knows, and the team knows.
My other theory is he went to the All-Star game last year. The Monstars stole all his powers, and he just can't play anymore.
The what stole all his power?
The Monstars.
The Monstars. What's that?
Have you never seen Space Jam?
I haven't seen Space Jam.
Oh, you have to go watch Space Jam.
There we go. That's why I didn't get the reference.
They stole their powers, and they couldn't play basketball anymore. I think the Monstars stole his powers, and he's never been the shell. So that's the only other explanation.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll, whatever happens this year, we'll have to really. I mean, the close attention to Pettersson's only going to get bigger next year. So hopefully, I mean, Vancouver's going to need him to be that guy, and he's shown he can be that guy. Yeah. I mean, we can just briefly. I mean, this episode's definitely longer than all our episodes. They got a couple games coming up. They have the Kings next, right?
Anaheim, then the Kings, and then in Seattle to finish off this road trip.
I think it's the Kings, Anaheim, then Kraken. Yeah. Yeah, 26th. Anyway. Yeah. Hard to, the Anaheim game should be I'd say 2 winnable games. I mean, technically, you can win all 3, but I don't know if they're going to win all 3,
Knowing this team, they're going to lose to Anaheim and Seattle and beat LA.
Yeah. That won't be good. They'll probably be out of a playoff spot if that happens.
Yeah. Playoffs don't start at the beginning of March.
Yeah. They got time, but big thing's going to be when Quinn Hughes comes back, because that's going to be they need him. They definitely need him to try to make a playoff spot push, or stay in their spot rather.
If they're going to fluctuate in and out of the playoff spot, that's fine. It's not a panic. It's no need to panic until April.
Yeah. Or
they won't
towards the end of March, then we'll know. Towards the end of March.
They're not going to fall out of it. Kevin's been having too good of a year. You still have Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, you're going to be there. I think they can make. I think they'll make it. That's my thought.
Oh, same. I'm just not worried about them falling out of a playoff spot on February 24th right now. So.
No. I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna make it. I don't think they're gonna go on a run this year.
No. Not with this team.
No. But I'll take playoff hockey over non-playoff hockey. So, all right. I think we rambled on enough.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for anybody who tuned in to watch. Like always, comment. We're on YouTube, Canucks Chatter. Let us know your thoughts on the Four Nations game, or if you have any questions or anything you guys want us to talk about, we'll definitely read it and do that. You can also follow us on X, Canucks Chatter, and our own personal ones that Victor will tell you what they are.
Yep, some deviant. Rafa, I can't pronounce his last name. Is on there,
Yeah.
and we'll have a guest host. I'll be on vacation next week.
Oh, right. Okay. You're
I'll
going.
be I'll be watching two good hockey teams play.
Mm,
Vegas versus Jersey.
nice. Nice. That'll be fun. That'd be cool. Let me when you come back, you have to tell us about it.
Yeah.
Tell us how
Yeah.
the arena is, the atmosphere.
Yeah, probably awesome from what it looks like.
Yeah, I bet it looks cool. Looks like a cool one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and catch everybody next week.